Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. So today we are in chapter 15, Yoga of the Supreme Person. That is also called Purushottama Yoga. Omagranatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chaksharunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga, Yoga of the Supreme Person. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdvamulam Adah Shakam Ashwattam Prahurabhyam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Vit. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable...
Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
You need to put on the YouTube link. The YouTube live.
I put it, okay. You want the link to be put?
Oh, you put it, okay. I saw. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So Krishna is giving a very nice analogy in this chapter, making us understand our position in this material world. So Krishna compares the whole material manifestation, material universes, to this inverted banyan tree. So what is the meaning of this? So the meaning is, so there is banyan tree. Definitely we all have an experience with banyan tree. But inverted banyan tree, reflected banyan tree, so is what appears on a reflective surface. Suppose it is on the bank of a river, definitely, or bank of a reservoir of water, a lake. Any tree will have a reflection. So Krishna is saying, in the reflection, you will find things upside down. So the whole material universe, when it is compared to this reflection of a banyan tree, it is to mean that it's a reflection of the spiritual world. So reflection is something which is sometimes manifest and which is not manifest. So if suppose there's a light, if it is completely dark, pitch dark, there is a question of any reflection. Or in some way, there is no reservoir of water, definitely there is no reflection. So Krishna, in that sense, wants us to understand that spiritual world is a reality existing eternally. Material world is a temporary reality. So it is not that material world does not exist. It does exist for some time. And again, it is destroyed. Some people have the understanding, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mityam. They say, yes, Brahman, only Brahman is Satya. And Jagat is Mithya. They think it is imaginary, it's false. No, we don't say that it is false. It has its existence, but for a limited period of time. So limited period of time means lakhs and lakhs of years. Brahma's lifetime is how much it is? 311 trillion years. So after 311 trillion years, this whole material Brahmanda where we are situated is going to be absorbed into Mahamaya. So it happens in cycles. So it's such a long period. The material world is going to exist. Is it going to exist with all its varieties? So it's not an imagination, as some kind of philosophers have the thinking, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Jagat is not Mithya, but Jagat is temporary Satya. So that is one thing we have to clearly understand. So, but spiritual world is eternally existing. It is for all the time. There is never a time when spiritual world does not exist. So Krishna wants us to understand the reality of this material world. So taking this nice example, the Lord explains here. So whatever is lowest in the material world becomes highest in the spiritual world because it's a reflection. So reflection always, what is at the top of the tree? The leaves, the fruits, they reflect down. And what is down? Down is what is actually the roots. Roots are within the earth. So that is supposed to, in the reflection, you cannot see the roots. You see only the stem and the branches. But it is supposed to be there. The roots are supposed to be there like that. So anyway, with that understanding, Krishna, he takes the example of a vast banyan tree, because banyan tree is a tree which is very vast and it grows, covers So many, even there are some trees which grow for kilometers. In, I think, Kolkata Botanical Garden, some tree they talk about. It was, I don't know if it's existing now, but it used to cover at one time few kilometers, its whole tree, these branches. So Krishna, with this example, wants us to understand this material world is not a small world, a small place. The scientists are not able to figure out what is the beginning, what is the end. With all their technology, with all their science, actually we are in one Brahmanda. There are unlimited Brahmandas, just like in the bag of mustard seeds, one mustard seed. That is where we are actually situated in one of the material Brahmandas. So it has a dimension, but even that we are unable to measure. So how vast must be the sum total of the material manifestation? One Brahmanda. There are unlimited Brahmandas. So, and beyond that is spiritual world. So Krishna, that's why it takes this example of a huge banyan tree to make us understand the vastness of the material world. And as the banyan tree, there are various branches, various levels. So Krishna wants us to understand that in this material manifestation, everything is not situated in the same platform. There are the higher level living entities, devatas. Then there are the human beings. Then the lower level living entities, the birds, the beasts, insects, so many variety of them. So very vast. That's why in this picture it is shown. Brahma is shown at the top. What is the meaning? Because Brahma is the root from which the whole material manifestation is created. Brahma is born from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and then further creation happens by the Brahma's actions. So that's why Brahma and his planet is situated at the top of the material Brahmanda. From there, then he creates all the other planets. So that's why it is said to be the root. Brahma is starting the material manifestation. And from him comes the different branches. We see all the devatas here. Indra is here. Ganesha is here. So everybody are there, the devatas in higher planets. And they're coming down, there are the human beings. And coming down, there are the lower life forms. So everybody is a spirit soul, but depending on their consciousness, they're situated accordingly. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Yesterday we were hearing. Sattva-guna is where people are so advanced in consciousness, they are doing the activities in purified consciousness. Rajoguna also, they have a lot of material desires, but they want to enjoy religiously. So that's a Vedic system, Kshatriya and Vaishya. Kshatriya wants, he wants to have a huge kingdom, he wants power, he wants so many followers, so many servants, he wants beautiful wives, queens. So he has all those material desires. And Vaishya also, he wants to make a lot of money, he wants to live very comfortably, but they are following rules and regulations. They're following the dharma. So that's how it's a Rajoguna. Rajoguna, where these desires are there, unlimited desires to enjoy this material world, but in a religious way. They want to enjoy Rajoguna. Tamoguna is where the material desire becomes so much intense, they will not follow any rules and regulations. They just want to enjoy. That is Tamoguna. So Sattva-guna is where one understand what is the value of this so-called material enjoyment. So he applies himself to acquiring spiritual knowledge, prepares himself to enter into spiritual world. Sattva-guna. So the devatas and even above them, the great sages, they are constantly engaged in that. Sattva-guna. Rajoguna is where he has material desires, but he doesn't break the principles of dharma. He also follows the rules of dharma and then tries to enjoy his material world. That is Rajoguna. But Tamoguna is where the material desires become so intense. It is like Maya is completely captured him, completely made him forget his real existence of spiritual life as Atma. So he completely he forgets following religious principles, rules, and regulations, and in ignorance gets addicted to sinful activities. That is Tamoguna. So we were yesterday understanding Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. It's nothing but Maya. Maya's influence, how strong the influence is. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Tamoguna is complete, total darkness. Sattva-guna is where little light. Still, it is imprisonment. Sattva-guna. So we find in this example, Brahma is situated at the top. He is in a lot of Sattva-guna. Of course, our Brahma is not an ordinary person. He's a pure devotee. He's a pure, he's an acharya, in which our sampradaya itself starts, Brahma sampradaya. So otherwise, generally, Brahma is supposed to be a living entity with a lot of advanced Sattva-guna. And he takes charge of Rajoguna. There is also a department of Rajoguna given charge to him. But that doesn't mean he's in Rajoguna. Or that doesn't mean when Lord Shiva is taking charge of Tamoguna, he's in Tamoguna. No. They are controllers of the Tamoguna. Shiva, and Brahma is controller of Rajoguna, but they are not subjected to the Rajoguna or Tamoguna. Yes, they are all in great pure Sattva-guna, Shuddha Sattva-guna rather. So all the other devatas in the other either planets, they are in Sattva-guna. Human beings are supposed to be more in Rajoguna, and lower down the animals, they come to be in Tamoguna, completely forgetfulness of the spiritual life, of their existence as spirit soul, only after their sense desires. That is the animal life. So Krishna is explaining different levels, and the reflection is on the desire, just like any tree reflects himself on a surface, a water surface or anything like that. Krishna says the material desire, that itself becomes the cause for our existence in this material world. If we have no material desires, then we'll be in spiritual world. Because we have material desires, we have entered the material world. So desire is the reflecting surface, material desires. Then we are jumping from one branch to another, just like monkeys, they jump from one branch to another, upper, lower. So like that, in the material world, going from this body to that body to this body, human life to plant life to animal life to crocodile, insect, snake, pig. So we are all roaming in this material world. Brahmanda Brahmite kono bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna prasade pai bhagava, bhakti lata beach. It is said. Every one of us in this material world, we are roaming, rotating from one life form, one body to another. We are going up and down, we're jumping bodies from one branch to another, trying to enjoy. So it is said, this is all dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The Vedic hymns generally recommend us some religious formularies to get some economic benefit, then to enjoy the senses. After that, think of liberation. So general, that is the Vedic practice, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that's why it is depicted here, dharma, artha, kama, moksha also. This Vedic hymns are nothing but the leaves being seen, it is said, because leaves are required for the plants living. Similarly, these Vedic hymns are required for our, even for proper material enjoyment. So that's how it is shown like this. Then Krishna talks about the further next shloka. Atashchordvam prakstastasya shakha guna pravritta vishaya pravala adascha mulani anusantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. Yes, three modes of material nature, sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. Because we are infected by this rajoguna, sattva-guna, tamoguna, because we are under the influence of this rajoguna, sattva-guna, tamoguna. That is why we are situated in this material world. If we become free from this infection, then there is no point, there is no possibility for us being in this material world. We'll be immediately promoted to spiritual. So that is how it is said, just like water nourishes a plant. Without water, the plant doesn't nourish, doesn't grow. Like that, our material existence, our material life is due to these three modes, sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. So if we can cultivate sattva-guna and transcend sattva-guna to Shuddha Sattva, then our existence will be in the spiritual world. The twigs are the objects of the senses. The tree has also roots down, going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. So we create our karma in the human society. So somebody was asking yesterday, yes, karma, kshetra. So it is referred to the human life. Definitely karma is there even in other life forms, the devatas, the sages and all that. But human life is the main place, it is said. And particularly the Kali Yuga, it is said, it's one way a blessing by the Lord, that unless we do something very bad, we may think of something bad, but we are not punished for it. But in the other ages, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, it is said, somebody even thinks bad, wishes bad for somebody. Hey, I have to teach him a lesson. I have to suffer. So if I wish bad for somebody, it is said immediately the reaction will come to me. Oh, after having wished bad, of having thought of bad thing. So in previous age, but Kali Yuga, it is not like that. Unless I do something bad, that result is not given. But on previous ages, one had to do really good work to get the good result. But now Kali Yuga, it is said, even though I may not be able to do good work, now we are planning to build a big temple here. So we are wishing. So Krishna mercy, Krishna sanctions huge temple, beautiful temple where preaching of my Bhagavad Gita will go on far and wide. So our president has such plans. So we have nice preaching center, nice service for the Lord. So we are wishing like that. It may not, I suppose even it doesn't happen, but it is said just wishing well, we get the result. That is how in Kali Yuga it is stated. Even wishing to do good as a positive result. In previous ages, one had to actually do good things. Not only wishing, he has to endeavor for that, struggle, work hard, then make it happen, a good work. Then he will get the result. If that was our previous ages, the Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara, because the environment, the circumstances, the society, everything was in Satyoguna. So there was no influence of Tamoguna, Rajoguna. So people could easily execute religious formularies and perfect their life. So that was all previous ages the influence was. But Kali Yuga, we have a environment surcharged with Tamoguna, whole society. So Krishna is very, very merciful. So he has a little changed the laws of human nature, that even we wish good, we will have great result. And bad, unless we do bad, we are not punished for that. So Krishna is like that way, very, very merciful. So Kali Yuga, there are some good things even in Kali Yuga, it is said. So anyway, this is off the point. So here, nourished with three modes of material nature. Three modes of material nature. And the tree also has roots going down. This is about the fruitive actions of human society. So between our activities, our next birth, our life in this material world happens. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, where its foundation is. So yes, the real form of this tree, why we cannot find out? Because it's an inverted tree. So from where it is starting, we are not able to see. We are not able to. Brahma, we are seeing. Brahma is a cause, but from Brahma is also coming from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And because it's an inverted thing, the real thing is above. So we are not able to see where is the beginning. That's why it is said here. No one can understand where it ends. And even where it ends, where it begins. Where it ends, because it is so vast. The scientists are saying as if it is unlimited, the universe. No, the material world is limited. Spiritual world is unlimited. But material world, it's a limited dimension. But it's so vast, it appears as if it's unlimited. For an ant, our existence of a city, town itself is unlimited. So for us human beings, definitely this material world appears unlimited. So Krishna says, no one can understand where it ends, where it begins, where its foundation is, from where it is coming. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So we have to find out, I am caused by my father and mother. They are caused by my father and mother. They are caused by their father and mother. So we go on. We come to Manu, we come to Prajapatis, we come to Brahma. So then finally Brahma comes from Vishnu. So we have to search out like that. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment, Vairagya. So doing, one must seek that place from which, having once gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that supreme personality of Godhead, from whom everything is begun and in whom everything is abiding, since time immemorial. So that place is achieved only by surrender. Krishna. So, Daivi Yeshu Gunamayi Mamaya Duratya. So Krishna says, very, very difficult to cross over this Maya. But Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam taranti. One who takes my shelter very easily comes out of the influence of the three modes of material nature. So then, suppose we are able to reach that world by taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna describes that the spiritual world in just a glimpse. He says, Na tadvasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tathama paramam mama. That abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon. One who reaches it never returns to this material world. So it doesn't, if we may feel, what is this? If there is no sun, if there is no moon, that means everything is dark there. It's pitch dark. Like here next. Yeah, is it like this? No, it is not like this. This is actually material world. Material world is artificially lighted by Krishna's energy, Krishna's creation called the sun. Otherwise, our material world is completely pitch dark. So we make it with light because Krishna has created the sun, a luminous object in this material world. But otherwise, spiritual world, it is said, Krishna's body itself is filled with Brahma Jyoti. Yesterday we read Brahmanohi Pratishtaham. So the Brahman effulgence that lights up the whole spiritual world, spiritual manifestation. All the planets from Goloka, Vaikuntha, all are self-luminous. And in fact, night is created there artificially. Otherwise, there is no question of night there. So Krishna wants the devotees to experience a mood of separation from him. So there is an artificial night created in the spiritual world. Otherwise, the spiritual world is always full of light, full of knowledge, full of happiness, eternal place. So we have experience in this material world. So we are wishing a permanence, a permanent house, permanent job, permanent relationship. We are wishing, though we know in this world nothing is permanent. We know everything will be taken away. My house will get one day destroyed. My job will be, I'll have to come out to quit my job one day. Or even my relationships, what I have in this world, either they will be taken away or I will have to leave. So we know this is the reality, but still we have this quest for that. So why? Because that itself shows we had it some time before. So we were there in the spiritual world. We had all this experience of permanence there. And we again, being permanent spirit souls, eternal spirit souls, we are searching for that in this temporary, miserable material world. That shows that there is a spiritual world. And we were there because of the quest what we have, the feeling what we have, that itself is an indication. So Krishna is telling, yes, such a world, when somebody reaches, Yad gatva na nivartante, very emphatically Krishna says, nobody comes back. So it is not that Krishna is holding, Krishna is binding, imprisoning a living entity and telling, I will not leave you. No, Krishna is sending also, nobody wants to come. From the spiritual world, we have such an experience. Once we get an experience of this material world, it is said just like a small child, it insisting to his parents, I want to do this, I want to do that. So father will say, mother will say, don't touch beta. This fire is a dangerous thing, or this knife is a dangerous thing. They will tell, but the child wants to experiment. So one time they will tell, okay. Sometimes things are learned by experience, by experiment. So they allow, under care, under watch they are doing. So like that, when the child experiences the fire, the warmth, or cuts its, get some blood, something, cutting vegetables, something, then the child will not do again. So like that, Krishna has created his material world for us to experience. Is in the way we are saying, I want to be independent of you. I don't want to listen to you. I have my own life. It's my life. So we have each one of us like this, our existence in the material world. Krishna has created in such a way we get a thorough experience. After having gone from here and seeing the reality, seeing the mercy of Krishna, it is said we will never come back. Krishna so emphatically says, Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That is my supreme abode. Everything is Krishna's abode, even this material world, just like the jail in the kingdom, in the country, it also belongs to government. It is also part of the country, part of the state. Similarly, everything is Krishna's creation, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. But still, Krishna says, that is my Param Dhama. Just like in the country, the presidential palace or the Rashtrapati Bhavan or whatever previously palaces used to be their kings. That is a personal home or their capital city. Something like that, Krishna says, this spiritual world is my supreme abode. Mamaivamsho jivaloke jivabhutah sanatanaha manaha shashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. But today our existence is different. We are not in the spiritual world. We are in the material world. We are in the jail of this material world. So Krishna says, Mamaiva amshaha. Each one of us are part and parcel of Krishna. So just like mother, father have that feeling. Mother particularly has that feeling. With the child, because born from the mother's womb, the mother always feels my part, beta, it's my body. From my body is born. Similarly, Krishna, Supreme Lord, is telling, Mamaiva amshaha. Each one of us are Krishna's part. Mamaiva amshaha. Jivaloke jivabhutaha sanatanaha. All the living entities in so many different species of life, eternally we are part of Krishna, Sanatanaha. So it's not that some people say, no, we are not part of Krishna. We are Krishna. Some people have that understanding. We are God. So what is this part? We are not part. We are full. So Krishna says, Amshaha, Mamaiva Amshaha, Sanatanaha. We are not equal to Krishna. We are part of Krishna. Krishna's parts are there. Amsha and Khala, they are called Vishnu Tattvas, Swamsha. Ramadimurtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamah. They are all Krishna's own expansions. Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Narayana, Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So many, they are called Vishnu Tattva forms of the Lord. There is eternal expansions. We are also the expansions, but we are vibhinna amshas. We are separated parts, and we are tiny. We are limited parts. And the Vishnu Tattvas are as powerful as the Lord in various forms. It's not that Krishna is more powerful and Rama is less powerful, or Vishnu is even more powerful. It's not like that. Everybody is same. The same. The Lord manifests in different forms. Is one personality, showing these unlimited forms. But we are not that form. As I'm not Rama, or I'm not Krishna, or I'm not Vishnu. I'm Vishnu Das or Krishna Das. I'm an eternal servant of one of the forms of the Lord. So each one of us are eternally part, means it has to serve the whole. Just like these hands. These hands have to serve the whole body. It has a function. It can do some, give some body language or hold some things. It has some role, the hand. So it's not that hand itself is the body. No, it's a part. And the part is always valuable when used by the whole. Just like, it's a nicely devotees give example of a watch. Some watch will be there. So it is very nice. Watch is very good and is working very nicely. But unless I see the watch, I use the watch and make use of it. Oh, now it's time, 9 o'clock. Already I'm late for the class. This watch is useful. If I don't look at this watch, it is useless. It is just a machine. Similarly, each one of us, we are part and parcel of Krishna. When we are used by Krishna, we are become useful. Nimitta matram bhava sabhya sachin. So when we become used by Krishna, when we become a part in harmony with Krishna, we are useful. Otherwise, just like a screw in a machine, a big machine, small screw, what is the use? It falls over. Or some other screw you can bring and you can put it over, finished. But if the machine, something happens, what will happen? Big breakdown. So small screw doesn't matter. Even it falls down, you can put another screw. And Krishna is anyway unlimited. Krishna has not come to the material world to collect some servants from here. No. The Lord is Atma Rama. So Krishna says, all the living entities are my part and parcel, but having identified with this temporary material body, they are gripped by these senses. Mana shashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. Struggle for existence, survival of the fittest. We have this theory Darwin has proposed. At least that is correct. There are aspects we don't accept, but the survival of the fittest is the material world. Spiritual world, there is no survival of the fittest. Krishna can maintain unlimited limits. Even in the material world, if somebody becomes obedient to the Lord, he can maintain, he can manage. But otherwise, the loss of karma makes us get that because I'm trying to be your boss, you are trying to be my boss. So that's so it's a rat race we have created in this world. So prakriti sthani karshati. So we are in the struggle for existence in this material world. So how we are struggling in this material world? शरीरमेदवाप्नोति यच्चापि उत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयत्. The living entity in this material world carries these different conceptions of life from one body to another as the life carries aromas. So we want permanent life, we want permanent existence. But here the world is situated in such a way, is made in such a way that we cannot live anywhere permanently. And our material desires are so unlimited. Krishna has created so many bodies wherein our all the crazy desires, different desires. I want to eat like this. I want to have sex life like this. I want to fly like this. I want to swim like this. Unlimited desires we have. So Krishna has created in every body some kind of a particular desire I can fulfill. So we are jumping from one body to another body. Just like it is said, air carrying aroma. Similarly, the mind, the subtle body, it carries our conception from one life to another life. And then I develop a particular gross body. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, tongue, and so nose and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So as a huge bird, a Garuda, an eagle, so it has very sharp vision. So Krishna has given. But what is the goal? To find some dead corpse from very high. It's flying very high. So we may think, oh, such a great eagle, such a eyesight it has. But what is the goal? What it wants? It wants to enjoy some dead carcass, dead some whatever snake or some insect. That is what its enjoyment is. So like that, certain type of ear, certain type of here can hear very subtle things. Dogs, cats, so many things, so much capacities they have. Tongue, nose, sense. So everything different. Every living entity is different to enjoy different groups of sense objects. Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudana pashyanti gnana chakshusha. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body enjoys in the spells of material nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. So very nice here it is shown. A person, a car owner is struggling. Even it happens to us sometimes. So we take out our vehicle, it breaks down, and suddenly, and we don't know, in the middle of traffic, so many every people are looking at us, and we are struggling, trying to open the bonnet, trying to figure out what is wrong. So we just moments before we were like big kings driving a car and looking at other people. But now we are in the middle of the road, we are caught up, our vehicle is not starting, and everybody is seeing at us, everybody is cursing us, blocking traffic, so many things. So like this, we are not able to figure out. But suppose a mechanic comes here, immediately tuck, he will figure out. I'm also seeing, the mechanic is also seeing. But because he's trained up in the particular field, the particular knowledge, he can understand immediately. Oh, what is this small mistake? There is you have forgotten to put the engine oil, it is not there, or this is not there, or some clutch wire is broken. Simply tuck, immediately figures out and he sets it. Similarly, it is said, this understanding of the change of body, it is for somebody who has heard the Vedic scriptures, who has followed these devotional principles, very easy to understand. Oh, now I am like this. What kind of an activity I must have performed in my previous life? What abominable kind of activities I must have been doing, because of that, which my present mental condition is like this. So we can easily understand our previous life, then our present life, by which we can predict what will be our future life, because knowledge is there in the Vedas. How we develop, how we train up our consciousness, how we train up our mind in Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, what will be our destination. Everything is there. So that's why it is said here. The foolish cannot understand what a living entity, how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body enjoys and the spell of motion nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Yatanto yoginashchainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam yatanto api akratatmano nainam pashyanti achetasaha. Okay, it's only in Hindi. आत्म साक्षात्कार को प्राप्त प्रयत्नशील योगी जन यह सब स्पष्ट रूप से देख सकते हैं, लेकिन जिनके मन विकसित नहीं है और जो आत्म साक्षात्कार को प्राप्त नहीं है, वे प्रयत्न करके भी यह नहीं देख पाते कि क्या हो रहा है. So it is said, yes. What is the previous verse also? It is almost similar. Yes. So it is said, one who is trained in knowledge, I know you can see. But others who do not take the standard path. So suppose you go to an expert teacher, he will solve the problems. He'll teach you very nicely and immediately you'll understand everything. But you go to some other person who himself doesn't know, then what we will understand? We will be more confused. So particular spiritual subject matter, people are so much confused. Atma, Paramatma, everything is one. Yatomat, Tatopat, whatever you feel, you can believe. So whatever you create some dharma that is good, you believe in some dharma, it will keep it for you. I believe in some dharma, I'll keep it. No, it is not like that. Dharma is very, very scientific, very, very objective. It is not a subjective understanding. But how we will be able to understand all these things? We go to a proper Gurusha Parampara. We take the standard books of knowledge, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Then everything will be very, very clear. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the Lord himself incarnated, Krishna himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and gave us a very simple process of chanting the Mahamantra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sarva Siddhi hoy tomara. Just we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. These 16 names, I mean, as we chant, our heart becomes cleansed, purified, and we understand everything clearly, what is what. So there is no room for confusion. No room for dharma is a kind of faith or kind of fantasy or imagination. No. So everything becomes very, very clear. Yes. Dhamma vishyacha bhutani dharayamyaham ojasa pushnami chaushadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. So again, Krishna gives an understanding by which we can remember him, like and feel grateful to Krishna. So it's only in ignorance we are not able to understand how Krishna is so great, how Krishna is so merciful. So Krishna is giving us this in these lines, how he is controlling this cosmic manifestation. I think 12th verse was there. 12th verse is also an important verse where Krishna says, Yadaditya gatam tejo jagad basayate akhilam yachandramasi yachagno tat tejo vidhi mamakam. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. So Krishna says, we are dependent on the sun, we are dependent on the moon, we are dependent on the fire. So we cannot exist without them in this material world. So Krishna is telling, I am the source. So very nicely Acharya says in the purport, without his mercy, there cannot be sun. Without his mercy, there cannot be moon. And without his mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. So to live in this material world, even in this material world, we have left Krishna and come, and he has created this wonderful material nature, all these things. So we should definitely be obliged to the Lord. So these are some of the thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. So we think, where is Krishna? Where is God? Where is he? Who is he? I have nothing to do with him. No, unless he has done this, he has made all the background arrangements for us. So how we can even live, how we can even breathe, how we can even live even in this material world. Very nice purport. Devotees can read this. Prabhupada is given 15:12. Then near 13th, Krishna says, I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So we say gravitation force. Yes, by this force, the sun is holding so many planets, they're all rotating, revolving, so many things. But Krishna is telling, it is my power, my strength. Who created the law of gravitation? So we create law, Indian laws, Indian Penal Act, that act, this act. We have so many things. This amendment, that one. These are laws. Similarly, who are creating these laws in this? We say physical laws, physics laws, so many laws of motion, force laws of first law of Newton, second law of Newton. Okay, any law, but who is a lawmaker? So we are all lawbreakers, but who is a lawmaker? So lawmaker is Krishna. So Krishna is telling here the gravity. So it is not that before Newton discovered gravity, there was no gravitation force. So he discovered it one day. He saw apple, why it is falling on my head. So he discovered gravitational force. We say, yes, he discovered, such a great scientist. Okay, but who made that gravitation force? Why it first of all exists like the way it is. So Krishna is telling, I do it by my energy. So it's as if it is floating in the space. So Krishna's energy, the whole big planets, big gigantic mountains, which huge, the whole ocean, seas, living entities, it's all as if floating in space. So it's all by Krishna's energy. Of course, Krishna's manifestation is Ananta Shesha is there. Bhagavatam explains how Ananta Shesha is the person who is holding all these things, all these unlimited planets in this material world in different positions. So he is responsible for that. Ananta Shesha. So he is the person. The particular Shakti of the Lord. Bhudharana Shakti or something it is said. That is done by Ananta Shesha. Ghamamishya cha bhutani dharayami hamojasa pushnami chaushadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmaka. So Krishna is not only maintaining outside, even inside within our body. So Krishna is the digesting force. That is the next shloka. Yes. So first is 15th, 14th. Aham Vaishvanaro bhutva praninam dehamashrita pranapana samayukta pachamyannam chaturvidam. Aham Vaishvanaro bhutva. I am the fire of digestion in every living body. So unless there is a fire inside, so it's the fear we say about acid or whatever the science talks about, different chemicals, the enzymes which digest in the body. But Vedic science sees it in terms of kapha, pitta, vata, tridhat. That is more subtler science, more detailed, more systematic. So it says that the fire within the stomach, which digests all the living, all the things what we eat. If it's going on nicely, we are healthy. If it doesn't go on nicely, our body, then it cannot digest and we suffer from indigestion, so many stomach problems. So Krishna is telling, I am the digesting force. So Krishna is supplying all the things outside, the sun, the heat, the light, the water, the air, everything. Even inside, he is responsible for maintenance of this body. So otherwise, we cannot even maintain this body. We cannot even manage this body. Even outside, even inside. So Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the protector. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mattasmritir gnanam apohanam cha Vedaishcha sarvera meva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. Krishna is telling, I am also present in everybody's heart. Sarvasya. So Krishna is not telling only in Hindu's heart or Muslim's heart, Christian's heart or Indian's heart or Pakistani's heart or human beings' heart. I am situated. Krishna is saying Sarvasya. So all living entities, Krishna is saying Chaham. Just like he said, Kshetragnam Cha Apimam Vidhi. In the 13th chapter, we heard the Kshetragna, two Kshetragnas. Krishna is again reconfirming, I am also present along with every living entity. In the where I am present, Hridhi in the heart. So we may say, what is this? Okay, I will remove the heart. And today people are doing heart surgery, heart transplant. So is Paramatma change or is the person change? No. It is the region of the heart. It's not a material thing, the heart of Atma and Paramatma. We remove the heart and new Atma, new Paramatma. No. So just like a sitting place. Now I'm sitting in the chair comfortably. So somebody comes, pulls out my chair. I can still be there, situated in the same place. Okay, I'm a little uncomfortable. With the chair, I'm very comfortable sitting. But if there is no chair, I'll be a little uncomfortable. And again, you put one more chair, new chair, then I will sit on that chair. So something like that. Heart surgery means, the heart transplant means heart is removed. Okay, fine. But so Atma Paramatma is still there. If they are there, the next heart comes and the person sits. If he lives, that means the Atma is there, the Paramatma is there. If we go away, if we feel very uncomfortable, okay, and goes away, even if I keep the heart and there is no life. So it is situated in the region of the heart, the Paramatma and Atma. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mattah smritir gnanopavanam cha. And what Krishna is doing, situated there, Krishna is telling, I am the person who is giving you remembrance. So I get up every day morning. So when I get up, I remember. It is very difficult to get up. I have so many, let me sleep even more. So what is this? Already it's morning. Let me enjoy sleeping. I feel like that. And if Krishna gives me some remembrance, oh no, this you have to do, that is there today. Such an important thing you have missed so many days, it's going on. Then with that remembrance, I wake up. Oh, no, I have to do that. Yes. So that remembrance, from where it is coming, that remembrance. So remembrance, each one of us get remembrance. Very moment to moment, second to second, we get remembrance. We are in a problem, we are in a dilemma, what to do, how to solve this. Suddenly one idea comes, do like this. So and it works. So that as if somebody, a friend is prompting us, is suggesting us to do like that. So it is nobody else other than Paramatma. So each one of us have this experience. About one more person is always, some people talk about conscience, subconscious, so many things they talk about. But inanimate thing cannot give you a suggestion, cannot give you idea. Does it come like a fountain? Well, a fountain gives some material objects, but thoughts, ideas, it all comes from a living person. Just like I am a living person, when I'm in problem, somebody is, some thought, some idea comes, it is coming from the Paramatma, another living person, another conscious personality. Dead things will not give rise to ideas, give rise to thoughts, give rise to knowledge, give rise to so many things. So I can easily identify each one of us, little introspective, we can see, not only I am there, along with me, one more personality is there. Krishna is saying, I am that personality, whom you are imagining, whom you are saying so many other ways. I am that personality. Giving you ideas, giving you knowledge. So sometimes we forget very silly things, very simple things. It's like how it happened, how I can forget this, how it's beyond my, such a silly mistake. So yes, Krishna is in control. Krishna is telling that also I do sometimes. Apohanam, I make you forget. So it's not like he's not playing, Krishna is not playing with us by making us forget. But due to our karma, Krishna is just awarding, just like a judge in the High Court, Supreme Court, he gives depending on the case. So he awards somebody, he punishes somebody. Not that the justice, the High Court, or the Chief Justice or judge is not envious, is not jealous, but seeing the situation. Similarly, Paramatma is a person who is giving us our karma reactions depending on our previous actions. He remembers previous life, I had a desire to enjoy like this. So suddenly a situation will Krishna manifests and see, give a situation, give me a thought. Why don't you enjoy now? You wanted to enjoy like this? Yes, I feel yes, let me enjoy. So like that, everything Krishna is sanctioning depending on our Purva karma. He's Upadrashta Anumanta. He's the witness, he's the sanctioner. So that is all also another functions of the Paramatma. Here Krishna is giving three functions. Smritir Gnana Hapohana. what Paramatma does, what Krishna as Paramatma does. He gives the smriti, the remembrance. He gives the gnana, fresh knowledge. Sometimes real-time situation, real-time problem. His solution has to come. So Krishna gives the solution, gnana. And sometimes forgetfulness. So smritir ganapati, there are three functions of Paramatma told in this shloka. There are other functions as Upadrashta, as Anumanta, and all that. In the previous 13th chapter we read. 14th chapter we read, yes, previous, not yesterday, 13th chapter. Upadrashta, the other functions of Paramatma. Vedaishcha sarve rahameva vedyo. So we are searching. Veda means one is the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, Vedic revealed scriptures. Another is any knowledge. Veda basically means knowledge. So today, so many branches of knowledge, so many scientists, philosophers, they're all trying to get knowledge. So through all those knowledge, Krishna says, I am the person to be known. Vedaishcha sarve ahameva vedyo. Vedanta krit vedavidevacha. So there is a Vedanta Sutra where Vedavyasa says the end of knowledge, the ultimate knowledge, the pinnacle of knowledge. So Krishna says, I am the Vedanta Krit, I am the compiler, because Vedavyasa is also an incarnation of Krishna, is an avatar. And Vedavid, I am the person who knows what is actually Veda. So Veda, we say we have people, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, some titles we might have heard, Dvivedi. Previously they used to be there, really learned in the Vedas. So they used to be there. But what is the goal of those Vedas when they study? The goal is to understand Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. So Krishna is telling in this verse, what is the goal of the Veda? What is the ultimate object of the Veda? Everything Krishna is revealing here. So Krishna sums up now the whole philosophy again. There are two kinds of living entities, 16th verse. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Very nice, Krishna says. Dvavimo purusho loke ksharashchakshara evacha ksharah sarvani bhutani kutasto aksharam uchyate uttama purushastu anya paramatmeti udahrita yo lokotrayam avishya bibharti abhya ishvaraha. Yasmat ksharamati ksharaad api chottamaha atosmi loke vede cha pratita purushottamaha yo mamevam asammudo janati purushottamam sasavavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. So Krishna says there are kshara and akshara. So akshara refers to the living entities like us. So we are caught up by the three modes, satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. The greater, more and more influence of Maya, the ignorance. So we are in this material world. But people who are there, living entities, are free from this Maya. They are not affected by Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. They are in a spiritual world, actually serving Krishna. So Krishna said they are all infallible living entities. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Because I am transcendental, before this, 17th verse. Besides these two, there is the greatest living being, the Lord himself, who has entered into these worlds and is maintaining them. So as a third person, Krishna speaks. He is the person, but still he speaks. There is one Paramatma. And then he says, in the first person, he says, because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I have celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person. That's why this chapter is called Purushottama Yoga. So Krishna is telling, Purusha Uttama. Atho asmi loke vedecha pratita Purushottamaha. Yasmat ksharamati toham aksharad api chottamaha. So Krishna says, so his supreme position and our subordinate position. Very clearly, Krishna says in this verse. That's how all the great living entities, the Devatas, so we are seeing here Brahma, Shiva, they're always constantly in meditation on the Lord. They're constantly surrendered to Krishna. They're constantly waiting for Krishna's orders. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sara Pashyanti Suryaha. Yat Vipras, it is a Vedic mantra says that. So all the Devatas are constantly waiting. They're with great respect, great attention. They're with great love, they're obeying the Lord. So we see here Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, everybody they're there. The Lord is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So they're all waiting for his orders. And the Lord, they're always meditating. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they're always meditating on the Lord. They're great devotees of the Lord. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting, is to be understood as the knower of everything. And he therefore engages himself in full devotion service, O son of Bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Yes, so naturally, somebody comes to real knowledge, real understanding. So under the Lord's wonderful personality, so definitely somebody, everybody will take his shelter. Thank you, everybody. So we finished